All right, welcome everybody to the latest 12 frames per second Toonkind session. My name is Uni. I am playing Zan, the not Toonkind anymore wizard. And
Hi, I'm Mock. I am playing Blink Lightly, the very much tuned kind lamp sorcerer.
um, and to set the scene, we are back on the in the Luthib lands, the forests not too far outside the city of Senema. Um, and Blink, you are returning to visit Zan. Um, about about how long has it been since you last saw him? Have you seen him? Have you been back to visit him since the 11th law?
Probably not, honestly. I've been traveling around different places. I don't usually go to the same place twice. I mean, at least not for a while.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Um, that being the case, then, as you approach the place where the conflict took place, and much of Zan's home got destroyed, so you can see it has been rebuilt. It is not quite as set in place in a way. The way the branches were all sort of woven together. It was just like these are old trees that have grown in this way, and with this, it's younger branches, not quite as settled in, but it's also
Mhm.
fresh and hopefully maybe doesn't hold quite as many bad memories in it now. Um, as
One would
you
hope.
as you approach, though, you do see there are a number of tunes out on sort of the green outside Zan's home. There are three wolves who are playing cards together, as well as a porcupine
Yeah.
and two boars who are sort of patrolling around. And as you approach, one of the boars sort of stiffens up and starts coming over to you. Goes, "Who
Just
are
so that
you?"
we're completely clear, I recognize some of them.
You do recognize the wolves, yes. The wolves were the ones who were patrolling last time when you guys tried sneaking in. The boars and the porcupine were probably asleep at the time.
Yeah.
uh, so one of the boars sort of stiffens up and sort of uh, marches over to you, goes, "What business do you have here?"
Uh, Hi, hello. Uh, Blink Lightly. Um, Zan invited me over.
And the boar goes, "You the master has not invited anyone." And then one of the wolves comes over, is like, it's cool, Niels, we're good. Hi. uh Sorry, he's on patrol duty and doesn't really we things get weird when it's patrol time. um Hi, I think you jumped. No, it wasn't you, it was your friend who jumped on my head. uh
Yeah, that was that did happen. Hi.
Hi, Rally. Um, Shoot, I don't know if Zan's busy right now. Uh, and Niels the boar is still trying to like uh block your entrance. Says Rally is trying to calm him down. What do you do?
Well, first up, I will like just say to Raleigh, um, it's nice to see her a little more sociable than the last time I was here. That's improvements, I suppose. Um, I could like wait if you want to go get him or something.
Um, yeah. Hey, Ron, can you go get Zan? And one of the wolves is sort of sighs, puts his cards down, and runs up the stairs to the first building. Um, and then Raleigh turns back to you, goes, "Yeah, I still don't have the greatest memory, but
Hmm.
when I'm not on guard duty, I can at least be a person, I guess." Zan's doing. He's helping out.
Yeah, that's good.
Um,
I guess we were enough to make an impact, though.
yeah. Um, Thanks for
Literally.
that. He sort of rubs at his noggin. Um, and after a minute, you can see Zan emerging with one of the other wolves, Ron. Um, and
Yeah.
as he sort of comes down, you can see even Zan is a little bit nervous about Niels because like he is not written in at the sketch's shitty script as the boss, so even he has to be a little bit nervous during with whoever's on guard duty. He goes, "Oh, great work. Uh, good job, everybody. Everything's safe. This is an ally of our good friend. He can come in." And Neil's
Waves.
just Neil sort of gives you the stink eye, but stands down a little bit.
Hi, thanks. Okay.
And it's just as thank you, Blink, for coming to visit. We should come on in, and he sort of leads you up to his building.
Great. Hi.
Hello, Blink. How have you been? For manners, hello.
Oh, I've been around here and there. Um, just mostly traveling, so normal.
Oh, I
Normal as it gets these days.
It seems the world has only gotten more complicated since I've last been out in it.
Yeah.
um, and you can see him sort of actually make a perception check.
Yes, I will. I gotta go. No, I am in here. I gotta remember what my perception is. Hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a nat
I see
20.
everything.
Yeah. You can see there's sort of a look on Zan's face where he suddenly becomes distracted, and there's just sort of like a weird um sort of number of micro expressions on his face that you can't quite figure out what he's reacting to, but it's clear that he is reacting to
Hmm.
something that you can't detect. Um, and he goes, "Yes, it's wonderful to have the opportunity to travel. Um,
Ah,
I I called you here because I I think I've found some important information, but I I wanted to get a second opinion on what might be the best course of action." And he sort of goes to his desk, and then you hear him curse. It's like, God damn it. He goes, "I know I left it somewhere. Um, I'm sorry. I should have prepared for you to be here. I was expecting another couple. You, Can you
That's
please
okay.
help me?
I just made quick time. That's exciting news though.
Hopefully. So, can you I'm so sorry. Can you help me look around and like this is a very messy room, so please make an investigation check.
Okay. Of course, Blink says, yeah, sure. And he flicks the light on, as is his shtick.
It is what he do.
That one's an 11.
Okay. So you are sort of searching around. It's a little bit hard because Zan forgot to actually tell you what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's a
So
great point.
there's a lot of papers around. There's a lot of sort of like discarded, empty vials and sort of
Hmm.
cracked arcane focuses that have gotten rolled under the desk, and finally you do catch sight of like something glinting, and it looks like some paper with like gold leaf or something imprinted on it.
Yeah, that looks something. Um, I'll go ahead and pull that out from wherever it's hiding.
Oh, oh, okay, good.
Uh,
And you can see it's some sort of like party invitation. It has very like fine quality paper, and there's like yeah, the gold leaf is sort of like making a beautiful design around the edge and fine calligraphy, inviting to uh, Lady Konba's masquerade ball. And Zane goes, ah, that's part. Hold on. And he sort of like ducks down and rummages around and comes up with two more pieces of paper. He goes, okay, this is what I found. Um, here, let read this. And he
I read
hand
it.
he hands you the other piece of paper, and it reads, it is this is just a letter. It is not the fancy thing. It says,
Hmm.
"My dear friend, it seems we must agree to disagree on the matter of shadow disposal. I simply bid that you be careful, especially as you expand your data pool. You know firsthand how unpredictable the magic from that blighted land can be. If you're looking for a break from your toys, I'm planning to conduct another round of research at the upcoming event in autumn. I think it would be a lovely opportunity for us to compare data directly. I've even included an extra invitation for one of your pet projects should you be willing to drag one along. I confess I'd be absolutely fascinated to see how it reacts to the process. I hope you'll be able to come since you know how difficult reservations are to acquire. Signed, Noir. P.S. About the outlier. I have my thoughts, but can't be sure without seeing the subject myself. If you can prevent it from sleeping, that may help it stick to the script.
Hmm.
And as you finish reading, Xana's sort of crossed his arms and leaned against his bookshelf and gone, it seems Sketch was not the only one conducting magical research of that particular nature. I I can't find the other correspondence he had with this Noir, but I think he must have burned all of them in order to cover tracks. But
Okay.
this is an important hint. If I can track them down, they may be able to shed some light on how to best revert this process.
It's possible. When did this letter arrive?
It was postmarked actually just a week or so before I was able to escape and find the rest of you.
Hmm.
Um, I'm I'm not sure if the person who wrote this letter knows what happened to Skedge already. The news hasn't spread all that far outside of cinema for whatever reason, but
Hmm.
I suspect, well, I have a favor to ask of you, and you can make an insight check to see if you can guess where this is going.
I mean, I as the player might be able to guess, but insight not as good as those other ones. Well,
That's a dirty 20, so that's plenty
it's a
good.
dirty 20, baby.
Yeah, you can guess pretty readily that Xana's going to ask you to investigate, but you could also tell he really doesn't want to. Like he feels uncomfortable about asking for your help in this regard, because it seems kind of like a trap of some sort. Like
Mm-hmm.
if it wasn't a trap when this letter was sent, it probably is one now. um, he goes,
I
I
could
have
go take a
been,
look.
I wouldn't ask you to go alone. I've been doing as much research as I can here, but I don't
We
think
need
I
additional
can.
sources.
Yes, exactly. Um, and he sort of pulls out the two invitations that were there. There's one with the gold leaf and one with the silver leaf, and then he gets to what's clearly the most uncomfortable part for him and goes, if you were to take this, in order for us to get in, well, we might have to do a little bit of acting.
Well,
Uh,
that's I'd like to think I'm pretty good with that.
oh, well, I'm glad one of us is. He sort of scratches at his head and goes, I'm afraid in order for this to work, you're gonna have to pretend to be, well, as the letter says, one of the pet projects.
Mm.
That's I don't if that's not something you're comfortable with, I understand.
Well, I can certainly see why it's something you might not be comfortable with. If do this is happening what in a week or so or more than that, less than that? I have no idea. Didn't read
Uh,
that part.
the invitations listed about like 2 weeks out. Um, and Zan goes, yes. Lady Konba's masquerades are an annual event that happen um, out in Furuma. We'll have to do a bit of traveling, but I think we can. I have ways to make the trip much shorter. Um, so yeah, it's this is a outside of the realm of Toonkind. This is going to be a largely real kind based endeavor. Blink, how do you feel about that notion? Have you done much traveling outside of Einquell?
This is a great question, and I just realized I never really considered it. Probably to the point where I've kind of like dipped my toes outside of kind of this area. I mean, there's so much going on in Einquell itself that, you know, you could just travel around here forever and still not see everything.
Exactly.
Um, but I've probably like gone kind of to just like adjacent areas, but not much farther than that.
Hmm. So Zan says, I haven't left Pinequell even before, everything that happened. It had been a few decades since I came to this land. I'm not sure how they will react to tunes out there, but well, hopefully, uh, it is a party, so they'll at least be ready for a little bit of fun, unless, of course,
And
this
who bet
expands.
and who better is more fun than a tune?
I confess, it was nice having you around when you were uh, first here. I'm glad to have you back again.
Oh, uh, thanks. Do you want to make an insight check?
Sure. Let's see.
Yeah, do it.
Boop. Ah, not great.
He seems flattered.
Aw. um,
I mean,
yeah,
he also is just only eyes, so that probably does complicate the process of reading at least his face.
it's true.
He
Yeah.
is very expressive, like body language wise, which partly because he's a tune, but also like maybe even a little bit more exaggerated because of the lack of facial features.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Zed actually uh starts to sit down, realizes there's a bunch of books piled up on the chair, and then sort of brushes them off with mage hand. He goes, "Please take a seat. I'm sorry for having."
Does he just brush them onto the floor?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, and he gestures to another chair, which is not as cluttered. But he invites for you to sit. He goes, I'm sorry for jumping right into such power matters. Please, let's catch up. How have you been? What have you been up to?
Well, like I said, I've been going around different places. I was in a lovely little village just when I got your message that had a lot of kind of clockwork things going on. That was pretty cool.
Really?
Um, and while I was there, I was actually able to dabble with it just a little bit. Generally I like to work, with my hands. I'm good at repairs and such things like that. But those processes, the process behind clockwork is fascinating. Um, because it all stems from one small motion and then moves out and out and out to make this entire uh, object actually move. I just think that's neat.
And Zen has this very, very fond smile on. He goes, "Yes, I've found that such is the case for much of the world. Um,
Hmm.
can I can I ask, Blink? You are a sorcerer, correct?
Yes.
Do
By
you
the definition of it, yes.
do you know where your magic stems from?
Can you roll me another insight?
Okay. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Not much better.
Hmm. Well, you can see the way that Blink has kind of shifted in his chair. When he was talking about like just dabbling with like clockwork stuff and his interests, he's very open and engaged. He gets chatty. Um, when we do start talking about magic, he kind of sits a little bit further back and kind of like he seems a little bit more on edge about that as a topic.
Never mind. It's not important. What's most
I mean, if
fascinating?
it's, I mean, if it's, I don't really know. Not really. So
There's
that's the long and short of it, at least.
there's a great many mysteries in this world, much of which is uh, hidden within ourselves. Um,
Mhm.
I and he sort of thinks he feels a little bad for bringing up an uncomfortable topic. Uh, and so he's sort of casting for something else to discuss. Um, and he goes, "What? I didn't realize you enjoyed making things. What sort of things have you do you like to craft?"
At this, he just sits up and he just starts pulling shit out of his hammer space.
Mm,
It is like little like trinkets. Um, and he also just kind of said, I didn't make all of these, but I do like to change them in different ways. And he's like pulling out like little figurines that have been kind of like co-opted to like be like a different thing. Um, he just has a collection of a lot of things. He really likes tinkering as a
ah,
as just like a thing to do. Um,
cute.
so and lately, what I've been doing, and he pulls out this little a couple of little like clockwork looking contraptions. Have you ever seen like Kickerland like wind up toys?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're I don't know, they're very simple, but I don't know, I like them. They're kind of elegant in a way. He has some that look kind of like that, but like a little bit more. They have a little bit more of like a form to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because while he's not as like hardcore on the artistic side of it, he does like to make cool little trinkets and things like that that move. And he pulls one out and actually hands it to Zan. Um, and he just kind of, hand behind head, says, I was thinking about maybe you might actually like this one." And it's a little. It looks like it's a little figure on a circular stand, and does a in front of the figure, there's what looks like a little like a lantern on a its own stand on top of that stand, on like a platform on top of the stand. Does Zan want to wind that?
Absolutely. He sort of gives it a look over, and then starts twisting the key to see what's up.
And as he does this, Blink is just explaining. This is actually one of the first ones I've done mostly from scratch. Um, like I said, this is a little bit of a newer, specifically is a bit of a newer interest for me. But he's just just rambling at this point.
Oh,
But what it
baby.
does when it what it does when it's wound is that the little like figure, like a little man or whatever, bends down and extends its arm, and then picks up that lantern and stands back up. And when it stands up, it kind of like snaps into position, and a little light turns on the lantern.
That
And
is
then after a few seconds, it like puts it back down, in the way that like wind up toys would do.
And you could actually see Zan's face sort of lights up, and he goes, "Oh, look at that! See, it's sort of like us." I, I, I'm. That is delightful, Blink. And actually, um, one more time, roll an insight check.
Yeah, baby. We're just all in checks all the
All
time.
insights.
Um, just I'm double checking it again because okay, yeah. That one's a 16. That'll do.
Yeah, that's
Probably.
still pretty good.
Better than the ones I've been getting. Except for
You
that first one, which was great, but whatever.
for a second you think when he said it that's sort of like us. At first you thought like he was talking about you and him, but you're not entirely sure. It seems like he was speaking to someone else for a second, before sort of uh quickly going back to going, yeah, just gushing like this is wonderful. You made this yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I was using some principles of some other people's designs, but the pieces, and I didn't make all the pieces, of course, but I did put them all together in that um to do that.
That's brilliant, Blink. I I think that's fascinating. And he sort of winds it up again to watch it for a moment, and you could tell he's utterly charmed by it. He thinks that this is very cool. Um,
Link also thinks is very cool. He just
and
doesn't always get a chance to share that in detail, like in depth. So
oh,
he's a little bit like, yeah, anyway, this is the thing, and like he was rambling, and now that like Zan has spoken at all, he's just kind of like quiet, just kind of grinning to himself.
oh, baby. um, and Zan watches it for a moment more, that he's just sort of like puts it on his desk where he'll be able to see and fiddle with it regularly, because it's just like, yeah.
Yes.
put, put the kid
Yes.
thing up on the fridge, except it's, yeah. um uh
Yeah, that was kind of my most recent project.
oh, that is brilliant. um and
Thanks.
he he thinks for a moment about something, um and then he goes, would you like to see something I've been working on?
Yes.
Um, and he sort of actually sort of clicks his fingers, and a bunch of the sort of window openings suddenly shutter. And by the own light from, cast by your eyeballs, you can see him reach up to his robe and pull off one of the sort of star-shaped patches that's on it, and he sort of tosses it
Oh.
up in the air, and it suddenly the room is illuminated. Um, and
Blink does like a little clap.
I've I've been working on imbuing various bits and pieces with spells that can sort of be used on the go. Um,
Oh, that's really handy.
I hope it will be. I think it'll be nice for people who don't usually have magical options on hand to have ready access to it. Um, but
Blink
it
winks at him.
And he goes, well, it's still a work in progress. And as he says that, actually, the sort of mode of light that has been illuminating the room then sort of sputters and twitches and make a dexterity check or a
Oh
dexterity save.
yeah. Let's see. Double check what that is. 13.
Okay, that is just barely enough. You sort of like lead like sort of roll back in your chair a little bit, and the one of the sort of splurts of light that comes off of it uh, pops into the chair seat, and a little bit of stuffing comes splurting out. And one of the bookshelves across the room gets knocked over, and another
Oh
mode of light
no.
just uh, sort of burns a hole in the floor, and he goes, "Yes, work in progress. Sorry."
The place could be even more of a mess than it was.
Yeah, you can get more of a feeling of why this room is such a disaster, despite having just been newly built. And goes, well, I'm. It's a hobby.
Oh, of course. Have you ever considered maybe a second room for the actually trying this stuff out? I don't know. You got a lot of papers and books in here. It would be a shame if they, you know, got destroyed.
You can see a look over his face of, I should have thought of that. He goes, I will look into that. And he sort of like feels uh uh he gestures, and the shutters open up again. uh he's just like, well, you can tell he's very sheepish about the having he wanted to impress you, and then he showed off his dumbassery.
Well, um, Blink just kind of goes like, no, no, it's cool. I practiced most of my magic on the road, so I never really had to worry about you know doing that in the same place wherever I was. But most of that was outside.
Well, I you can see a moment where he like debates talking about the magic he's been doing outside, um
Mhm.
and then he thinks better of it, because he's just like, I don't want to talk about that right now. He goes, can I make you some tea? Would you like something to drink? I'm sorry, I am not used to being a host.
That's okay. Yeah, sure.
um and he sort of uh, rushes around the nook to prepare something. He's gone for like 30 seconds. He probably magicked something up real quick for you.
Nice.
Um, Actually, I will roll real quick. Um,
This is the number of seconds it takes him to prepare this tea. Oh,
I guess just. Oh no.
hmm.
um, that's a 3. So I was rolling to see how good the tea actually is. um,
Yeah,
he has basically handed you a cup of warm water that doesn't taste like a whole lot of anything.
yeah, that's fair. Sometimes Blink is still gonna drink it.
Oh, Blink, bless you. um, and then he has a cup for himself as well, and he sort of sips on it, and if he notices that it's not great, he doesn't show it. Probably because he's always making his own goddamn tea, so he doesn't know.
He likes this weak ass tea.
he doesn't he hasn't gotten to have very much good tea, so he doesn't have anything to compare it to.
That's a shame.
It's just like quickly dunk the tea bag in there, and that's fine.
It's yeah, it's close enough. It's in there, right? Yeah.
Um, with that, is there anything else that you want to cover, or I don't know, should we call it there?
It's a great question. Um, I don't know. I'm pretty satisfied.
All right, cool.
Call it
So
there.
yeah. Oh no, were you gonna say something?
No, no, no. I just let's call it there.
All right, great. So yeah, we they got to have a little bit of catching up, and they can make a plan for this
Haha.
mysterious
Yeah.
thing going on in the near future. Um, but for now, Zan will sort of set up a guest bedroom for Blink to stay in if he wants until the time of the ball.
He will do that if offered, yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, in the time you're there, you get to know, Blink gets to know the tunes that have stuck around. Most of
Mhm.
them are pretty just normal dudes when they're not sort of pulled into Skedge's script remainder. So you hopefully
Hmm.
don't have to go through the whole uncomfortable saga dance every time one of them sees you.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
I'll be thinking about that just as far as what that like those interactions would be.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I hope, this was a pretty low key one, not a whole lot of action,
Yeah.
but it's just character stuff and setting up mysterious things for the future.
We've
All
put two
right.
characters in a room and said, "Go, be friends."
Yes, basically. All right. Thanks again, and I will stop recording now.